calcified institutionalist establishment Democrats and then replace them with younger Dems who have a more vibrant vision for the future, who are socialist or whatever. He wants to replace them with the likes of centrist Democrats who are just younger. The problem with people like Hogg is that they believe the lies that about the rotating villains like cinema. If he actually tries to push the party towards any program at all, he will push up against the grifters that run the Democratic Party. There's another fun thing that the Democrats are doing. So that's what the conservative right is focused on. What is the DNC doing? That's right. The DNC is voting to oust David Hogg. We'll hear a challenge next month by a Native American DNC member who lost the vice chair race and wants a new election citing fairness and gender diversity rules. The scoop here is that a May 12 credentials meeting will hear the challenge, which was filed in February. It didn't make the news at the time. The reason why they're doing this is because David Hogg himself is not exactly like a radical nor a revolutionary, but he basically said we should use some of the DNC money going around as someone who is libbed up. He said we should use some of the DNC money going around to take out some of these do-nothing Democrats, you know? And all hell broke loose within the ranks of the DNC when he said that. They were like, how dare you? That's not what we do around these parts, except that is precisely what they do around these parts for establishment Democrats. Okay. A candidate who failed to win a Democratic National Committee leadership role is challenging her defeat, the first threat to the DNC vice chair, David Hogg, since he vowed to keep backing some primary challenges to incumbents. The DNC's Credentials Committee will meet virtually on May 12th to consider the challenge from Kaylin Free, a Native American attorney and party activist who lost the vice chair spot to Hogg at the party's February 1st meeting. In her complaint, shared with Semaphore by a Democratic source, Free argued that she lost a fatally flawed election that violated the DNC charter and discriminated against 3 women of color candidates. Dude, just this party is irredeemable. Okay, it's irredeemable. It's so irredeemable. They're literally destroying themselves with woke. I saw a clip of him destroying Carville, which was funny as hell. Yeah. They are literally doing Bernie style, like Bernie rat campaigns to David Hogg. Okay. This person is not a Bernie Sanders style social democrat even. Okay. David Hogg is not in any way, shape, or form a radical. That's precisely how he got to the vice chair position to begin with, because he is super libbed up, and even as a super libbed up guy, he understands that the Democrats need new talent, fresh faces whatsoever. Okay? And even then, they're like, nope, that's messed up. We can't do that. How dare you? Like, I can't even, it is so ridiculous. It is so ridiculous. Okay? Dude is a Parkland shooting survivor. No, yes. He's like big into the anti-gun slant within the Democratic Party's base of organizers. He tried to do like a liberal My Pillow for a little bit. I don't know. I don't really pay close attention to what David Hogg is up to, but I do know that he's libbed up. Like he doesn't want to use DNC money, but his own PAC money. Okay, yeah, he's radical because he has his own PAC and wants to use his own PAC to like fund primary challenges to some of the calcified institutionalist Democrats that are do-nothing Democrats. And that in and of itself was completely unacceptable to the structure of the DNC. And so they're losing their minds over it. Fatally flawed election. By aggregating votes across ballots and failing to distinguish between gender categories in a meaningful way, the DNC process violated its own charter and bylaws. Oh my God. The problem that the DNC sees with Hogg is that despite him being a typical Dem, he threatens the establishment Dems in super safe districts. Not perfect, but I like his direction for the party electorally. I mean, dude, you don't understand. He's not even trying to primary out. Like, there is no Justice Democrat style vision here. He's not calcified institutionalist establishment Democrats and then replace them with younger Dems who have a more vibrant vision for the future, who are socialist or whatever. He wants to replace them with the likes of centrist Democrats who are just younger. The problem with people like Hogg is that they believe the lies that about the rotating villains like cinema. If he actually tries to push the party towards any program at all, he will push up against the grifters that run the Democratic Party. They don't want to literally do anything. Yeah. My point is, if you can't even have a David Hogg who comes from your activist base, who is like the most Democratic Party coded activist, like he's not like a revolutionary figure that came out of truly radical politics, like that was born out of that was born from like street activism, real organizing, like spontaneous organizations that prop up as a direct consequence of like untold amounts of violence that are that certain communities are subjected to, like Black Lives Matter, the OG Black Lives Matter, not like the DeRay or the Sean King Black Lives Matter, but like the actual Black Lives Matter where a lot of the leadership actually mysteriously died, right? Like those guys actually are protests the Democratic Party despises, right? I would even go so far as to say the Sunshine Movement is like closer to that kind of radical protest movement rather than the likes of David Hogg. This is no disrespect to David Hogg, but the reality is like March for Our Lives and the gun control, the gun. Did I say something different? Yeah, Sunrise Movement. Did I say Sunshine? I'm sorry. Yeah. The Sunrise Movement is still engaging in certain instances in like radical acts of protest against the likes of Dianne Feinstein, famously. You know what I mean? Like whenever Democrats basically do horrible shit for their special interest groups, they will go out and protest those Democrats. So obviously, a lot of the Democratic Party hates those kinds of groups. They hate Black Lives Matter. They hate like the DSA, things of that nature. David Hogg, on the other hand, is from the David Hogg, on the other hand, is basically from the ranks of gun control, which is never going anywhere, and it's a safe form of activism. It's a much safer form of activism where they also don't make like super serious demands out of the Democratic Party. They don't actually go around and protest Democrats who vote against gun control or whatever. It's a more safe version of activism in this country, despite the fact that there is definitely a need for gun control in this country, for the record. I'm not even, I'm not discounting that at all. So this is the Democratic Party's basically, this is the Democratic Party's moment where, remember when Hakeem Jeffries was like yelling at like MoveOn.org and Indivisible? Remember when groups like Indivisible and MoveOn were demanding that the Democrats do something, anything, and Hakeem Jeffries was yelling at them? This is basically that. Having a knife fight with like your own party loyalists, your own parties, like these are people that are within the party apparatus. I mean, he's literally the vice chair. Like, what are we talking about? You don't get to that position by being an activist that will engage in civil disobedience with regular frequency. So, like, what I see here is that even like a light movement in a appropriate direction for the future of the Democratic Party, if they're getting this agitated over David Hogg, then you're not a serious party at all. You're just going to crash and burn every step of the way. You just want the Cory Bookers of the world to go out and sit at the steps of the Capitol and sing Kumbaya. That's what you want. Yeah, exactly. Bro, what more do you want from the Democrats? They sat on the stairs. Exactly. They did a 24-hour filibuster. That was amazing. That was brave. Remember when I told you guys that no one is going to talk about this filibuster that Cory Booker engaged in, by the way, immediately after? Remember? Where's Cory Booker's filibuster? Everyone said it's going to skyrocket him into fame. What happened? God damn, chatters was so libbed up back then, too. An upcoming vote to require neutrality from DNC members wasn't actually about Hogg. According to DNC Chair Ken Martin, the purpose was to restore the trust of the Democratic voters after anger at the superdelegate system that helped nominate Hillary Clinton in 2016 and facilitate the party's early endorsement of Joe Biden ahead of the 2024 primary. But some DNC members have spoken out against Hogg's PAC, and he leaned into the media coverage, conflict equals news, to do hours of interviews about the need to change the party. He told me last week that he would not quit the DNC if asked to, and that the party would have to force him out. Changing the endorsement have automatically done that. But if the party agrees with Free and grants the relief she wants, it would hold new elections for vice chair, giving anti-Hogg members a chance to get rid of him. Hogg has embraced his role as an inside-outside organizer, fighting back against critics who think unity is more important than overhauling how the party operates. Free is asking the party to vacate the elections of a gay black man, Kenyatta, and a straight white man hog so that a woman has a chance to win one of their jobs. Oh, I'm Brian Kill Me. 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 Oh my fucking God. I'm Brian Kill Me. Oh, yeah. I'm Brian Kill Me, and this is Fox and Friends. I'm Brian Kill Me, and this is the Fox 5. I'm Brian Kill Me, and this is Fox Friends in the morning. Oh my fucking Lord. A Native American woman of color has to take this slot. You have to do you have to redo this election is like literally a cartoonish depiction of how Republicans claim the Democrats operate. And here they are doing exactly that. Oh my fucking God. Who is this for? Nobody, except for opportunists who take advantage of this this cynical, shallow approach to identity politics, representative politics. Oh my fucking Lord. At issue, according to our challenge, is whether Democrats will fight for free and fair elections and fight against discriminations of women and people of color. Is this politically opportune fight for Democrats to have next month? It doesn't matter. They're going to clash anyway. Bro, I hate these guys so much. They're so delusional, so disordered. They literally only care about the shit when they can use it to destroy the left. They spent tens of millions of dollars to primary Jamal Bowman for a literal white man. They don't fucking care at all. I know. I fucking hate them. I hate them so much. Like, dude, I've been critical of Norm Finkelstein's like identity politics assessment, but god damn, dude, like this is vindication. Like this is literally just Democrats so transparently and so cynically just being like, we don't give a single fuck about actual representation. We just want to use representation in a way to rat fuck Bernie. We want to use representation in a way to like stop any sort of popular progressive movement from being built up from our ranks. Doing land acknowledgement before voting for genocide in Palestine. Yeah, this is what they're worried about. Anyway, here's what MAGA is doing.
Will continue to be. So thanks for coming to the influencer briefing. I look forward to taking your questions. And Deborah, why don't you kick us off?
So congratulations on 100 incredible days. And over the first 100 days, the majority of policies that we've seen from the Trump administration have been either targeted at foreign affairs, such as bringing the American hostages home, or attempting to end the war between Ukraine and Russia, or on long-term goals such as cutting government spending with DOGE. What policies can we expect to see rolled out over the next few months that Americans will directly feel the effects of in order to secure the 2026 midterms for the Republican Party and keep his approval rating historically high?
Yeah, the first answer that comes to
I mean, low key, people say like, oh, dude, this is like a SNL skit. Sure. Except, is it all that different from the way that the regular press pool operates nowadays? Okay, so Peter Ducey has at least a background in role playing as a real journalist for an extended period of time. But his line of questioning is basically the fucking same as this. How will we be able to keep our president goated, Mrs. Caroline Levitt? You know?
The White House is crawling with kids. You have a young, beautiful baby boy. There are babies everywhere. There's so many young folks on staff who have kids. But the last 4 years under Joe Biden, parents are really stressed and ravaged. They had to take on 2 or 3 extra jobs. Depression rates were up.
Is that Draco Malfoy? What the fuck is this? What is happening?
Suicide rates were up. You're a very high-profile young mother who seems to juggle and balance it all beautifully. What advice do you have to young parents out there who are starting their careers, having kids, building families, and trying to find that balance so desperately?
Yeah, well, it's a great question. And
why do you care? You're like 16 and possibly gay. You have another decade of getting groped by the worst psychopathic Republican senators until you even decide on, child adoption. And by which point it'll be too late because you're not going to be allowed to adopt the child as a gay man. So what the fuck is this? What's it to you about, defending people having children? You're going to get cooked for that? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to get cooked for literally saying the truth. Draco Malfoy over here. You'd be canceled for all this if you weren't so gay adjacent. What? Saying that the Republican Party has a Matt Schlapp problem and that they are also actively trying to make it illegal for gay people to adopt children. This is the homophobia. You know, the joke here isn't, well, it's not even a fucking joke, to be real. You know, the criticism here is about the administration that he's defending is working against his best interests. Like, what are you talking about?
Balance so desperately.
Yeah. Well, it's a great question. And first, to the heart of your premise, it's true. The president has empowered.
They're going to cancel me for saying Matt Schlapp is a rapist. And that, you know, the Republican Party is homophobic and their policies are anti-gay. How dare you?
Howard, not just me as a young mother in this role, but there are so many new moms and dads on our senior staff in the West Wing, but also across the entire administration. There are working moms and dads who are owing our country public service for President Trump while raising young families. And the president really...
A lot of queer people have started supporting and repeating right-wing talking points out of self-preservation, I think. Yeah, they can suck me from the back, okay? Get the fuck out of here. Like, what do you mean? You think this right-wing commentator is repeating right-wing talking points out of self-preservation? He's probably from, like, holyliberty1488.net or some of these, like, adjacent neo-Nazi fucking websites where he talks about how every trans person is a rapist pedophile. That's his beat normally. Like, what are you talking about? Like, oh, he's just doing this out of self-preservation. Okay. Maybe he should have preserved his fucking hairline, dude. Don't say that to gay men. You're not helping. What? What is going on? I never realized that, like, the gays would behave this way in my chat of all fucking places. What the fuck? Oh, chatter saying suck me from the back will make gays more horny. Oh, okay. I thought you were responding to something else.
Balance so desperately.
Yeah. Well, it's a great question. And first, to the heart of your premise, it's true. The president has empowered not just me as a young mother in this role, but there are so many new moms and dads on our senior staff in the West Wing, but also across the entire administration. There are working moms and dads who are owing our country public service for President Trump while raising young families. And the president really empowers us to do that. And I commend.
Noticed in the first 100 days is that the White House is crawling with kids. You have a young, beautiful baby boy.
Isn't her husband like 70? Yeah, she's 27 and her husband's like 60, I think. I guess his seed still works though. His semen is still strong.